just health-wise. I know obviously Mike with his ankle and then Frank with his shoulder.
Yeah. Now we're a little banged up, so Mike will be out. Frank, maybe probably a game time decision. He hasn't done much of anything. Dawson's got a groin, so he was off yesterday, didn't do anything. Caleb's got mono. KB was out yesterday with a heel, so we'll see. We'll see. But I know this: the guys that are, they were able to go yesterday are locked in, and I think they learned a valuable lesson from last game. I think, we respect everybody, but I think they went in there, thinking it was going to be a certain way. And, Omaha is a good team, and they came in here thinking they're going to win. And all of a sudden you give people confidence early and you don't respect the game like you should, it becomes tight. And so I think they learned a really valuable lesson from that. And we made sure to talk about it a lot yesterday, and will today and will tomorrow. That, we're not at that point. We can't just roll up the ball and expect people to come in here and just lay down. That's just not how it works. And, the good thing about Omaha is in a little way we scheduled that because I thought it'd prepare us for Wednesday in terms of just the intensity level and interchangeable parts and how they defend, although it's not exactly the same. There's some similarities, and so hopefully we'll learn from that.
Dawson's been playing out of his mind, missing a piece like that. Obviously, you're saying that it's a possibility he could play tomorrow. But when you saw when he was not out there, what are some of the things that the other guys need to do?
Yeah, definitely. I think it was good. We got takes that with him with foul trouble. And guys are going to have to find a way to kind of step up and fill that void. I think everybody talks about wanting to have a big role and you want to be able to do certain things, especially offensively. When a guy's down, it's like now it's the time to step up. Same thing with Mike. We've got guys that now have extended minutes probably and, an opportunity to rise up and to meet a standard and to figure out where they're at.
With Mike, obviously it looked pretty concerning him be carried off the floor. Do you foresee that being sort of a long-term injury, or what do you foresee for his future?
Yeah, no, the good thing is there wasn't any, there was no break. There was nothing like significant. It's just a really bad ankle sprain. So, that thing's kind of week to week. Sometimes you could say it could be 4 weeks and it could really be 2. It just depends on kind of what type of healer he is. And so, we know obviously we won't have him for this week, probably next week. But then after that, I think it's kind of just where he's at and where the ankle's at. But the positive side is it could have definitely been way worse. You look at how his other leg ended up underneath his body. I was really worried about that. So thankfully, it's just the ankle, and we'll treat it as such and try to get him back as soon as possible.
Which is opportunities that give Isaac then maybe to take some of those minutes, do you think?
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, especially if KB can't go, now we're back to, and with no Caleb, a 4-guard rotation. So, Isaac will get extended minutes. Femi will get extended minutes. Lukai, Brennan. And, hopefully we're able to get KB back at some point and help fill that void. But, yeah, I think it's a great opportunity. Again, you obviously don't want to lose bodies, but it's an opportunity for guys to get experience and get on the floor, and everybody wants to play. And so now you've got your chance to go out there and showcase and see what you can do to help impact winning.
Do you take anything from last year when Dawson was down and maybe other guys then were forced to step up and all of a sudden realize they could be different guys? And I think it probably helped.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think it definitely helped last year's team for sure. I think everybody's got new pieces, and especially guys that are they're moving up a level. There is time where you want to give them extended minutes to get them a run where they can play through certain stuff. I think that's what happened last year. I think guys finally were able to get extended minutes in a role, and so that helped with just confidence. Knowing you're going to be out there regardless, and there's not, maybe as short of a leash. So I'm hoping that's the case. We need guys that need to get reps, and Brennan needs to play through some stuff. Isaac needs to go through it and play through some stuff for later on in the year. Same thing with Lukai. Lukai, you can still he's getting better. He's just got to get more comfortable, and I think you do that through playing through some stuff. And so, hopefully with the longer leash with some of these guys, that we'll be able to see a little bit of growth from that standpoint.
How concerned are you about Dawson then playing tomorrow?
I've learned very quickly there's little I can control. I think the biggest thing is with a groin or just a ham, any of those type of injuries, you just want to be really smart. So we'll rely on him and Dawson, our team doctor, and see what they can do. But I think the best case scenario is you got to think short term and long term. We definitely want to be smart with something like that, and if you can go, great. It means he's feeling good, and if you can't, well, we'll figure it out like we always have.
After him, who's your best big guy that can kind of create stuff for himself the way he did? I don't know if you have.
Well, then we'll probably look at the opportunity going small, playing more perimeter guys, and the one benefit about it not being league games here, these next couple, is that you have a chance to go small, and you're not going against two guys that are 6'10" at the 4 and the 5. And so, we'll have to do that and be smart with our rotations, but that probably be what we look at is, okay, how can we be different and yet still effective? And what's the best lineup? Is it to play two bigs out there, whether it's Parker or Trey or whoever, or is it to go small and try to be with a true 4-guard lineup with one big?
We haven't seen anything close to the best of Femi. He was injured in exhibition, and then the first 2 regular season games was kind of like his exhibition. So kind of what were you seeing from him maybe in that second game, a little bit closer to what?
Yeah, it was a step closer. I was joking. We need to see practice Femi. We need that Femi to come out, which normally it's always the other way around, right? You always practice better than you play. But I think for him, it's getting his feet wet and it's getting comfortable. And again, hopefully, with extended minutes. Again, he's a guy that's got to be able to play through some stuff and play in long stretches because there's a lot that he can bring to the table. And I think some of it, too, is just, defensively not getting into foul trouble early, being able to just kind of stay in his lane defensively but yet still be effective. I mean, he's a guy that can create a lot with just being sound. Because of his size and length and kind of his intangibles that he brings defensively. And so, I expect his best basketball, like all of our guys. I just think in time, just like last year, they're just going to progressively get better and better as the year goes on. And, hopefully that really starts with a big jump on Wednesday.
You talked a little bit about respecting the game. Just what did it do for you to beat Omaha the way you did? I mean, I'm sure you'd love to win your non-conference games by 20-plus points, all of them. But what did it do for you to be able to grind out that win when other teams across the country aren't having that same success?
Yeah, no, it's huge. It's huge. I think that's something we need to be able to fall back on. And, that's what you want. You want, best case scenario to be able to have a lot of teaching points and be able to win through those teaching points. But you have to be able to be tested. Like I had no idea how we were going to respond in that second half. And so I really challenged the guys at halftime because I needed to see where we were at. And I think all of those are just testing to see it, whatever it is, 2 weeks into November, where are you? What can this team handle? What steps do we need to take to be mentally tougher? But then also to be able to say, hey, we didn't shoot it great. We were in foul trouble. There was injury adversity, and yet we still found a way. That's a little victory within the big victory, right? I think you got to stack those, especially for a team that's trying to maintain and gain confidence from every angle. You have to have that, and so I think it was really a good game. It probably got better from that than if we would have won by 30, to be honest with you, because again, then you kind of have a false sense of where you're at, and it was good for our guys to see. You can't just walk into a game and think because of who you are and where you play that it's going to be a cakewalk, that every team is going to come in here thinking that they're coming in here to win. Like I tell them, all these non-conference games, they schedule these because they feel like they have a chance to beat us. And that's got to be our mindset, is that they took this game because they think they can beat us. And you gotta take that personal. And that was a good lesson for all of our guys, that cool doesn't win. You got to roll up your sleeves. You got to be who you are, but you got to be pressing at all times. Yeah, really good team. I mean, really, I hope you guys know a lot about them and just the tradition of that program. Just a really, really good defensive team, plays extremely hard. A lot like Omaha, they're going to crowd the paint. We're going to have to find ways to get the ball reversed, to still live in the paint, whether that's drive, post touch, be able to play in transition. But you got to be able to fight pressure. I mean, this is going to be a game where it's going to test your will, test your toughness. Our guys know that. It's got a little bit of a Big Ten flavor. They got, good players, good athletes, well coached, good league. They expect to win because of their program. And so I love this game for us. I really do. And, hopefully we learn from last game, from the mentality, mindset standpoint. You're going to have to deliver the first blow in this game, for sure. All right. Thank you.
Excuse me, you're out for exhibitions. How did it feel to be out there?
I feel great to be out there, especially getting the win with our team. I'm just excited for many more games.
What's the adjustment been like just to be playing with the guys, like obviously in practice, but just like out there on the court?
The adjustment feel like the same. He's fixing up a couple wrinkles and got to perfect a little bit more things. But I'm just excited to get to play with the group of guys.
And Parker, I mean, there's some injuries of guys being out.
Mhm.
You're one that was out for a long time.
Yeah.
And know what it's like. Just how do you keep the team just going and positive?
Yeah, I mean, luckily it's nothing, there's not crazy season-ending injuries, obviously. But I think the biggest thing is Coach Johnson always preaches kind of that next man up mentality. You're here for a reason, and I think 1 through 16 we believe that, and that goes on throughout the coaching staff and all our managers and everybody believes that they're here for a reason. So I think the biggest thing is when the ball's tipped, you're going to put the guys out there that give you the best chance to win, and that can help impact winning. Coach always preaches that. So for us, me and Femi and down the West, we believe in everybody in our locker room, and whoever's available to be healthy and play is going to be out there. So I think just having confidence in that and coming out and playing the best of our ability.
Parker, what did you take out of the Omaha game?
Yeah, just a lot to learn. I think a lot of times you see throughout seasons, and I've been a part of them, there's always one of those key games where either you kind of lose or you get punched in the mouth a little bit, and you're like, you got to find ways to adjust. And luckily this one came with a win in the column, and we didn't have to lose a game to kind of realize that. But I think it started at halftime and then after the game, and that kind of moved into practice yesterday, where it's like, hey, this is real. Like there's a lot of really good teams, and as you guys have seen at many levels, anybody can beat anybody. You got to show up and play the game. You can't just wear the Minnesota hat and have a Summit League team come in and be like, oh, we're going to win for sure. So I think just kind of taking that and learning from that, and kind of treating each game as a single entity, and realizing that anybody can come in here and win if we don't play the best of our ability. So if we don't learn anything from that game, it's learning that fact right there.
Parker, we just asked about how many starts you had, here for the Gophers.
Yeah.
And it's going to be pretty close to surpassing that this year. What's the mentality different for you? And you used to be the energy guy.
Yeah.
You mentioned now, you got to bring things started.
Yeah, I think coaches always kind of preach to me, especially last year, is anytime I subbed into the game, obviously kind of being that kind of 6-man role last year is bringing that energy. I think whether it was after the first media timeout or second media timeout, whatever it was, just coming in and bring energy. And even if I'm starting or if I'm not starting, I think just having that same mentality, kind of having that not the top guy in the scouting report. Obviously, we have guys like Mike and Dawson and guys that are going to be at the top of your scouting report. But just bringing my energy and affecting the game at whatever level I can affect, whether that's a big rebound or a block or a steal. Doesn't matter how many points that may look like. Maybe it is a night where I have to score a bunch of points, but I think just impacting it to the best of my ability. I've played enough basketball to know that there's a lot of facets of the game that it takes to win. So whatever that may be on a specific night, just try to put my flair on that.
I mean, it sounds like Mike might be out at least a week, maybe 2. How does that change obviously you guys have some guard depth, but how does that change maybe how your role expands or how the other guards have to play now without having one of your main guys for a couple weeks?
Just next guy mentality. Mike is always going to be with us, and he's going to help us in off the bench with his voice and what he sees on the court. So he's always going to be with us to help us to get better, and just next guy up being ready to play ball.
You're one that can play like a variety of positions. Talk about the advantage of that. Depending on who's out, you can, if it's a smaller lineup, you can play. Before, obviously, Mike was the point guard, and you you're good at basketball as well.
Yeah, it's just the basketball player to me. You know, I don't really look at myself. I look at it as basketball now. It's positionless basketball. You know, everybody can play 1 through 5 or 1 through 4, and I'm just ready to go out there and make plays and just ready to win.
Ben said he wants to see practice Femi.
Yeah.
What does he mean by that?
Just being more vocal, you know. People's going to really start hearing me these couple of games and throughout the season, just me talking and making sure everybody's in their right spots and even on defense, just being a high-energy guy like Parker is.
What did you see from Lukai in the second half? I know, I think somebody had a talk with him, and he was just a different player.
Yeah, just him getting his feet wet, you know. There's a lot of people that don't really know how Lukai plays yet, and he's still adjusting to everybody and trying to make the right plays, but we just need Lukai to be himself. So he's just getting his feet wet, and you're going to see more of that coming.
Are either of you surprised by the early impact that Brennan's had? I mean, that dude he can shoot and he can jump out of the gym for a guy his height. So has that surprised you guys at all?
Not at all. I feel like I've seen it in practice, and we've seen actually more from him, so we know he's capable of doing more than just shooting and dunking. You know, he's a good defender, and when he locks in, he could be one of the best players.
Yeah, I think if you look at if you were to look at a depth chart of us preseason, Brennan probably wouldn't be in at the top of that list just with returning guys like Mike and bringing a Lukai in. But I think we all saw it from the first day of practice is his energy, and obviously, injuries are going to put you in different positions, obviously. But yeah, he's got a lot of energy. Obviously, he's super athletic, can shoot the ball, scores at 3 levels, and when you can do that, you can help a team win.
You have to find a different way to celebrate than flexing.
Yeah, I guess learn the lesson from that one. We'll bring it back and see if it. Grim told me to bring it back, so I gotta bring it back.
Anything else from players?
Appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks guys.
Thank you.